Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. This video is actually to say thank you to everybody, and it's not just the people on my Discord channel and my followers here on YouTube, but I've been getting a lot of best wishes and prayers and so forth for the upcoming Hurricane Florence, which is on its way to right now the South Carolina, North Carolina coast. And as many of you know, I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and we're kind of on the bottom end of the main path for this hurricane as it's coming towards us. And last that I heard, the storm should be coming in sometime, I would say Friday, early. It's kind of back and forth. Hopefully it will lose its strength and downgrade considerably, but as it stands, it's a Category 4, so we could see anywhere from 80 to 140 mile per hour winds. And if you've never been through anything like that, never been through a hurricane, tornadoes, things of that nature, they can be quite devastating to an area. And what can potentially happen, as seen from Hurricane Hugo when it went through this area back in 1989, I know that my family alone was without power for 3 weeks, and that's good. Some areas were without power even longer, but it is very possible that when it does hit, even if it doesn't hit head on and the eye does not pass over my city, we're still on the side of it, which means we're going to get the continuous winds for the duration of it, instead of having really strong winds, then a break when the eye passes over where the air is still, and then the other part hitting us. Well, if that's not the case and we're on the bottom end or the top end, what happens is we get the full force of the winds for a longer period of time, and that can also will spawn tornadoes, flooding, flash flooding, and yeah, it's going to potentially get ugly. So if we do get hit as we're expected to, then it's a given. We're going to lose power because the area that we live in, all the power poles are above ground instead of being buried like most of the newer neighborhoods where power is underground and they have less things that they have to repair. If power poles go down out here, then there's going to be a whole hell of a lot more for the power companies to repair. And I want to preemptively also thank you to all of the law enforcement. You guys are going to be busy. The fire department, EMS, even the transport EMS companies, I've noticed where they normally just transport patients to and from like nursing homes and things of that nature. However, they've stepped up, and I've seen several of them are already staged and ready to go into operation for emergency evacuations and so forth. So kudos to you guys as well. So definitely police, fire, and EMS, big thank you ahead of time. Department of the Navy, and thanks to actions by President Trump and all the other agencies involved, Navy is actually prepared an aircraft carrier and one other ship to actually, as soon as the storm subsides, they're going to push forward, and it's a helicopter carrier, so they're going to be able to run helicopters in and out of the areas to help evacuate people who need medical attention. So again, a big kudo to the Department of the Navy and for everybody who helped make that happen. And I have to say also that an unfortunate side effect to hurricanes is, yes, there is going to be times where there's no power and there's poor coverage of law enforcement because there's just so much for them to do. That there's potentially going to be looters, and I just have to say, shame on you. If it gets to the point where it's like Katrina, where people just had no choice, they were strapped. They were trapped in that city and could not get out. Think of all the people who don't have the economic means to be able to get out of their homes and evacuate. Okay, if you follow a mandatory evacuation, where are you going to go? If you don't have the money to even pay for the gas to drive from your home here in Charleston, we'll say, or anywhere in the affected area, to be able to drive to the next state over, spend $100 in gas to get somewhere, and then try to find a hotel that's not already booked solid because of hundreds of thousands of people evacuating the area. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And these people can't go anywhere. Now, sadly, we just recently sold, we had a 38-foot Winnebago, and still had that. We could have just hopped in there. It's always kept, serviced and topped off with fuel and everything good to go. And we could have just hopped in that and drove anywhere and parked in a parking lot and been able to have the generator, microwave, air conditioning, whatever we needed, and just stayed anywhere. Campgrounds, if they weren't already full, then we could have just gone to a campground, and $20 a night for a campground's a hell of a lot better than $50 or $60 a night for a hotel. And hotels are not going to lower their rates just because people have to have somewhere to live during the hurricane. They're going to rake the money in. Why wouldn't they? So again, it's not the people who are trying to feed their children or feed their family because they're poor and they could not leave. And understandably, I know that they may need to break into a grocery store or something of that nature. And who's going to be able to stop them if they mob into a store just so they can feed their family? I won't get angry at people who are just trying to survive. It's the people that go out to take advantage of the situation and go through neighborhoods where they know that people have evacuated, break into their homes and steal all their worldly possessions, TVs, DVD players, Blu-ray players, whatever, weapons, jewelry, anything that they can find, just so that they can actually, get free shopping, so to speak. I do have news for those people who attempt to loot in my neighborhood. We have a neighborhood watch, and we have enough people that are going to be staying here. The good point of these homes is this neighborhood, every home in here is a brick house, and they're built really well. They were built back in the 60s when contractors actually gave a shit about building houses. So I mean, this house has already survived Category 5 hurricane of Hugo. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to be okay here in this home. However, in the event that we do have looters coming in this neighborhood, all I have to say is I have plenty of ammo. So you better make your peace with God if you try to loot this house. I mean, I don't want to sit here and just say, bring it on or anything, but I keep weapons locked and loaded just in case, because I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to protect my house. No, I'm not going to be out there trying to be some vigilante, but my house, and there are a few neighbors that are close to here, that I will defend their home just as I would defend my own. So that's a thing to keep in mind, is looters beware. If you're out there to loot and try to take advantage of people who have had to evacuate their homes for their own safety, then yeah, you get what you get. But again, before I close out this video, I did want to say again, thank you very much for everybody who has said thank you and take care. Well, you said take care and best wishes and saying prayers for us. Again, I don't know if everybody knows, and I've mentioned it many times before. I care for my elderly mother, and I love my mom very much. You got to love your mom. It's the only mom you got, right? So I'm taking care of her, and it's not just me that's having to deal with this. I'm taking care of her as well, and her well-being. So, yeah. All right, so to close this out again, thank you very much for all your best wishes, your prayers, and all your positive comments. And I will be on Discord, and I will be here. I'll try to do a few more streams before everything hits. But depending on cell phone service and power and internet, I will try to keep everybody advised through Discord. I do have Discord installed on my phone, so that if I do get a cell phone signal and can get online that way, and can't get on with the computer, then at least I'll be able to get on Discord and post something in the public lobby to let everybody know how things are going and what our situation is. Financially, and with Mother's health and my health, frankly, we could not relocate. We could not go anywhere. So financially, we couldn't just pick up and go get a hotel room in Georgia, just because the fact that you're talking about trying to put mom in the car and, you know, drive for 6-8 hours just to get to an area where we might be able to find a hotel room, and then the cost of a hotel room for an unknown period of time. It could be 3, 4, 5 days before we can actually get back this way. So we're just going to stay and ride it out and hope for the best. So okay, well, I have a lot of stuff to do. I've got I got to bring my kayak inside. I've got my Jeep that I'm restoring in the backyard. I've got the hardtop off. I have to figure out some way of securing that hardtop so it didn't blow away. And yes, a heavy steel top will blow away whenever you're talking 80, 90, 100 mile an hour winds. It will pick it up and it will be in the next county. I've got a lot of other stuff that I've got to move, deck chairs and things of that nature that have to be moved and put into a safe location. I've got to relocate the vehicles, try to get all the cars next to the house. There's only 2 of them, but not including the old Jeep I'm restoring. But I have to get everything staged up and ready so that when the storm does hit, I won't have to worry about my trash cans being blown halfway across the county. I won't have to worry about the kayak going airborne, or my deck chairs taking out the neighbor's house or something of that nature. So I've got a lot of work to do to get prepared. So I'm going to have to get started on that really soon. I've already done some. It's not like I've been waiting to the last minute, but, you know. And another note, yesterday I went to go and get groceries so that we'd have food. And, you know, normally my grocery day is Wednesdays, so we were running out of everything. And I went to the grocery store, and they had already closed for evacuation. So I was absolutely in a panic. All the Walmart stores have closed. All the grocery stores were closed. Most of the convenience stores were closed. And I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get any food? Well, I went out earlier today, and I said, hell or high water, I'm finding food because I got to take care of mom. And luckily, one of the local grocery stores was open, so I went and I spent $200 on groceries so that we would have something. And it's a lot of dried food, canned food, whatever I could get. We have gas. I always have gas, but we have gas stove here, so even with no power, I don't have to worry about cooking because I will be able to cook with the natural gas. We won't lose that. Hopefully, unless, you know, something out of the ordinary happens. But even during Hugo, we didn't lose gas, so we at least have that, so we won't have to worry about cooking. Water, we should be okay on water. Usually after a disaster, water service either doesn't go down or only goes down for a short amount of time, so we should be okay on water. We're okay for cooking, but I did finally get some groceries, so we do have food here. I will pre-prepare some of the meats so that they will keep longer and things of that nature. So we'll be prepared. We'll be the best we can. However, I did not get any more batteries. They were completely sold out everywhere I went. So I do have some candles, but I don't have any flashlights. No flashlights with batteries. The only 2 that I had were rechargeables, and their internal batteries are done. So I do have a solar charger that I can use for recharging my phone and recharging my tablets. So at least I'll have something to keep me and mom both occupied. So we can play solitaire or whatever else on the tablets or the phones. And I've got a solar panel with a power supply, a power regulator, so that I can actually get a good 12-volt signal and charge my phones back up and my tablets and stuff. But until we actually get power restored and internet restored, I won't have anything internet-wise. So said I will try, as long as I do have phone service, I will keep everybody updated on Discord as to what's going on, but we'll just play it by ear and hope for the best. Alright guys, I quit boring you guys. I want to keep this a short, brief video and just kind of fill in everybody on what's going on, and then we are somewhat prepared, and that, you know, again, I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank local law enforcement, the police, fire, EMS, all the public service departments, Department of Navy for having a helicopter aircraft carrier staged up, ready to move in for evacuations and healthcare stuff. But yeah, thanks to everybody involved, and thanks to you guys. And I will be available on Discord as long as I possibly can, and try to resume some of my normal streams and videos until, you know, everything hits. So thanks again, and I will talk with you guys later.